Good afternoon, good evening to everyone. I'm so deeply moved to see so many of you here and joining us online, gathered in sacred community for this Yom Hashoah commemoration. Each year we pause to remember the unfathomable horrors of the Holocaust and to recommit ourselves to the responsibility that memory demands. We remember the 6 million Jewish souls taken with unspeakable cruelty, the 5 million additional souls that were also perished in unspeakable cruelty, 11 million in total. We remember the lives, the families shattered, the communities erased, and we honor the survivors, those who endured the unimaginable and chose to rebuild, to testify, and to live. This year, remembrance passes upon us in a different way. We gather at a time when anti-Semitism is once again visible, audible, and at times normalized in public squares. And I say this, we are surrounded by many of our youth and our teens, knowing that some of this you face each and every day in your schools. We gather while hostages are homes, yet families continue to live in anguish, and while Jewish life feels at moments painfully fragile. Yom HaShoah reminds us, hatred does not begin with violence. It begins with words, with indifference, with the erosion of our shared humanity. And remembrance is not passive. It is a responsibility to speak, to stand, and refuse to look away. As we listen this evening to Jeff Schindler, the son of Holocaust survivors Rose and Max Schindler of blessed memory, Zichronam Livracha, we do so with deep humility. Through his leadership in our community, from guiding a congregation through the isolation of COVID, to restoring San Diego's original Holocaust memorial, to helping lead our community's March of the Living delegation. He carries forward not only memory, but responsibility. His presence is both a light and a reminder of what it means to bear witness across generations. And yet, we also remember the Jewish story did not end. You're all here. Survival became renewal. Memory became responsibility. So let us hold both truths tonight, the weight of what we remember and the call of what we must do. Let us honor those who perish by lifting up the voices of those who carry their stories forward. Let us commit again that we will not be silent in the face of hatred or indifference. And let our presence here today be not only remembrance, but resolve. May the memories of the victims be for a blessing. May the voices of those who bear their stories be for a lesson. And may our gathering be a promise. As we say, amen.
An excerpt from President Barack Obama's 2012 remarks at the U.S. Holocaust Memorial Museum. We must tell our children, but more than that, we must teach them, because remembrance without resolve is a hollow gesture. Awareness without action changes nothing. In this sense, never again is a challenge to us all to pause and to look within. For the Holocaust may have reached its barbaric climax at Treblinka and Auschwitz and Belzec, but it started in the hearts of ordinary men and women. And we have seen it again, madness that can sweep through peoples, sweep through nations, embed itself. The killings in Cambodia, the killings in Rwanda, the killings in Bosnia, the killings in Darfur, and I would add personally, the killings on October 7th. They shock our conscience, but they are the awful extreme of a spectrum of ignorance and intolerance that we see every day. The bigotry that says another person is less than my equal, less than human. These are the seeds of hate that we cannot let take root in our heart. Never again is a challenge to reject hatred in all its forms, including anti-Semitism, which has no place in a civilized world.
Tonight we light 6 candles representing the 6 million souls lost in the Shoah. We remember not only the 6 million, but 6 million individuals, each with a name, a family, and a life. And so tonight, as we light our candles, I'll read names of those who, members of our community, remember tonight and always. We think of Frederick Schwartz, Paula Schwartz, Paula Beverstein, Hugo Beverstein, Miklos Gross, Saul Wenger, Sonia Anolik, Moshe Anolik, Avraham Becken, Anita Becken, Shmuel Becken, Devorah Fine Jogol-Polsky, the Roos family, and the Agstaribi family. These are only a few names. I'm sure there are more who you might be remembering or thinking of. And the work of remembering these people and all of the victims of the Shoah is work that belongs to all of us. And when we think of these names, may their memory be a blessing.
for Yom Hashoah, written by child survivor Sonia Weitz. Come, take this giant leap with me into the other world, the other place, where language fails and imagery defies, denies man's consciousness and dies upon the altar of insanity. Come, take this giant leap with me into the other world, the other place, and trace the eclipse of humanity, where children burned while mankind stood by, and the universe has yet to learn why, has yet to learn why.
Such a yellow is carried lightly way up high. It went away, I'm sure, because it wished to kiss the world goodbye. The very last, so richly, brightly, dazzling yellow. Sun's tears could sing against a white snow. For 7 weeks I've lived in here, pent up inside this ghetto. But I have found my people here. Dandelions call to me, and the white chestnut candles in the court. Only I never saw another butterfly. The very last, so richly, brightly, dazzling yellow. If the sun's tears could sing against the white snow, that
Good evening. My name is Ronnie Udoff, and I'm a member of the Holocaust Task Force, so ably chaired by Lori Shearer. Some of you may know that I was instrumental in urging Beth Israel to secure a Torah from the Czech Torah Scrolls collection in London back in 2023. And since then, we acquired on permanent loan our very tall Czech Torah number 1260 out of a total of 1,564 scrolls rescued after the Holocaust, which usually resides in our Ark and is now on visible display right here. And I might add that the Torah mantle was lovingly crafted by our previous retired staffer, Susan Hutchinson. This Torah is from the towns of Pizik and Strakonic. We don't know which town. They were labeled from both. Both towns are about an hour south of Prague in the Czech Republic. Last May, my husband Eric and I had the privilege of joining Rabbi Navarez and many congregants from Beth Israel here, perhaps today, on a Uniworld river cruise on the Danube, which ended in Prague. And Eric and I arranged to spend some extra time in Prague so that we specifically could visit the towns where our Torah originates. We hired Julius Muller, our guide. He's a retired geneticist, a Czech native, a Jew, and now the director of Toledot, the Jewish Family History Center in Prague, which he established in 2001. And he also is the author, along with Sheila Pele, photographer, of this lovely picture book of all the synagogues remaining in the Czech Republic. And afterwards, you can look through it if you'd like. Our synagogue is in there. So I'd like to show you some of my photos from that trip last May, and we can advance. Okay, this is Pizik. It's a lovely town, a quiet town, about 45 minutes south of Prague, and has a population today of about 31,000. Has beautiful pedestrian areas, many shopping streets, and many children. It is situated along the Otava River, and Julius pointed out to me that Otava is the same word as Ottawa, the capital of Canada. And this river connects a lot of towns. It was used for commerce. In the last part of the 19th century, there were 450 Jews living in Pizik, and it even had a Jewish mayor, Dr. Israel Cohn, K-O-H-N. In the 20th century, many Jews moved to larger cities, and then its remaining inhabitants, 150 souls, were deported to Terezin on November 26, 1942, and subsequently to Auschwitz. None returned. Since 2019, 22 Stolperstein, or memorial cobblestones, have been placed to commemorate families who were deported from houses in the towns of Pizik and Strakonic. While walking, our guide Julius found a Stolperstein group. This memorializes the Adler family. This is the Steiner family. Maybe I'm back. This is the Adler family. And this is the Steiner family. And this is the Frank family. We made our way by foot to the synagogue, which still stands as a reminder of the Jewish life that once thrived in Pizik, and Julius had arranged for a town clerk to bring the keys and open the back entrance of the synagogue. However, I'm going to try it again. This is the main entrance, right here. He wanted us to have the experience of walking through the front doors, as congregants may have in the past, as they certainly did in the past. Can you see the plaque above the main entrance? The Hebrew text reads, "Enter into his gates with thanksgiving, into his courts with praise," a line from Psalm 100. This plaque marks the last restoration in 1909 of the synagogue, primarily of the organ. The organ. So I think maybe it might have been a Reformed synagogue, an organ. Well, to say that it's in terrible shape today is an understatement. A second floor of concrete seen here was installed in 2005 at about the level of the women's balcony to stabilize the building structurally. And this upstairs portion is sometimes used for concerts, for performances and lectures. The community works on restoring the buildings as funds from diaspora Jews flow in, and they've even been successful in applying for grants. But when we were there, the work had stalled. I was told for a mere $50,000, the building could be beautified and made whole. So if any of you are interested, you can see me afterwards. We found a photo downstairs of the way the synagogue looked in its heyday. It was beautiful. Look at the women's balcony on either side, and the beautiful crystal chandelier, the richly carved woods at the ark and in the pews, the vibrant frescoes on the walls that have from time to time been restored by art students. It was a stark reminder of all that had been lost, both in physical property as well as in lives since then. Then we drove about 20 minutes to Strakonic, a town of about 22,000 inhabitants today. Jewish settlement there is documented from the late 15th century and increased by the late 19th century to about 326 Jews out of a total population then of 7,500 inhabitants. And it became the seat of the regional rabbinate. Strakonic was known for its fez manufacturing by families named Firth, Gutfreund, Stein, Weil, and Zucker. Today it's famous for its bagpipe festivals. Julius had trouble locating the plaque marking where the Strakonic synagogue once stood. It's now in a small pocket park next to the river, but he did what we had watched him do many times before in finding the Stolperstein. He asked an older person with gray hair, this time a woman, where the synagogue had once been in that park, and she took us right to the place immediately. She told us, in Czech, of course, with Julius translating, that the synagogue had been a beautiful building, unused in her childhood, but then later occupied by a local chamber orchestra that rehearsed there. As a high school student, she said, she used to stop by after school to listen to them play. She went on to say, and I quote, "I loved coming here to listen to the music. There was nothing wrong with the building. The government just didn't want to be reminded of the Jews who once lived here, so they tore it down." The plaque says, "For the commemoration of the Jewish community in Strakonic and the synagogue which stood at this place from 1860 to 1976, over 100 years. Today, the site is flanked by a modern office building to the right, tall shrubbery, and a small playground behind it. Adjacent to the park is the same Otava River that flows from Pizik, an inseparable connection, a silent witness to all that was and is no more. Thank you.
Adonai rohi lo echsar bino deshe yarbitzeini al mei menuchot
Good evening. I'm Irene Jalowiski. I'm a member of the Hashoah Committee, and I'm also a child of a Holocaust survivor. The Creed of a Holocaust Survivor by Alexander Kimmel. I do believe with all my heart in the natural goodness of man, despite the blood and destruction brought by one man trying to be God. In the goodness of man, I do believe. I do believe with all my heart that God gave man the blessing and the curse. Man can select the curse of envy, hatred, and prejudice, or the blessing of love, harmony, and beauty. Despite the painful curses of the past, in the blessing of the Creator, I do believe. I do believe with all my heart that God created a beautiful world. The sun and the trees, the flowers and the bees. And the best way to serve God is to enjoy the fruits of his labor of love, despite the painful memories from the past. In the joyful celebration of life, I do believe.
Good evening. My name is Lori Shearer, Chair of the Holocaust Task Force here at CBI. I'm deeply grateful to be in community with all of you this evening. And I'm grateful that Jeff Schindler and his family are here to share their story. Jeff is the board chair of the Jewish Federation of San Diego. He is also a CPA, career CFO, and real estate investor with leadership experience in San Diego-based companies and Jewish nonprofits. He currently serves on the boards of the Jewish Community Foundation, the American Jewish Committee, and Temple Emmanuel. The son of Holocaust survivors, Rose and Max Schindler, of blessed memory, he has deep ties to the local Jewish community. Jeff helped steer his community in his role as co-president of Temple Emmanuel during the COVID-19 pandemic. In addition to helping to lead his synagogue, Jeff recently led the restoration of San Diego's original 1972 Holocaust Memorial Monument, which is now proudly housed at the Jewish Federation building. Jeff also co-chaired the recent San Diego Jewish Federation March of the Living delegation to Poland. As board chair of Federation, Jeff is focused on expanding the Goldberg Center for Holocaust Education, including launching a mobile museum and classroom, engaging the next generation of leaders, philanthropists, and continuing Federation's strong partnership with Israel and her people, and combating anti-Semitism through coalition and community. Jeff is a native San Diegan and has been married for over 33 years to his beloved wife, Rachel. They are proud parents of 3 grown children, Mariah, Joey, and Johnny. I welcome Jeff Schindler.
Good evening, everyone. Yom HaShoah, the annual Holocaust Remembrance Day, serves as a poignant reminder of the atrocities endured by millions during World War II. Tragically, only a few 100,000 Jews survived the unimaginable horrors of the Nazi concentration camps. Many survivors understandably chose to keep their stories and experiences to themselves, overwhelmed by the intense pain and trauma they had endured. In stark contrast, my parents devoted much of their lives to sharing their harrowing Holocaust experiences wherever and whenever they could, all while building a large, loving family, living with joy and resilience while remaining devoted to Judaism. Their unwavering commitment to honoring the memory of those who perished, along with educating the world about the dangers of hate and indifference, became their life's mission. Yom HaShoah is not only a day to remember and honor the victims of hatred and indifference, but it is also a time to recognize and embrace the survivors who emerged from the darkness with unwavering hope, joy, resilience, and gratitude. Tonight, I'm honored to share my parents' remarkable story and how they managed to navigate their lives despite the unimaginable trauma they experienced as teenagers. Their journey serves as a testament to the power and resilience, the enduring human spirit, and to living life loud and proud. My mom, Rose Schwartz, was born in 1929 in a small Czechoslovakian village called Seredně, which is now located in Ukraine. In the spring of 1944, when Mom was just 14 years old, she and her entire family, there were 8 children and her parents, were deported by the Nazis immediately after Passover directly to the Auschwitz-Birkenau concentration camp in Poland. Upon their arrival, Mom lied to the Nazi guards about her age, telling them she was 18. She had no idea of the significance of this. The capo that pulled her off the train told her to tell the guards she was 18. As a female, telling them you were 18 or older would hopefully result in being sent to a forced labor camp instead of being sent to the gas chambers. Tragically, both her parents and 5 siblings were all murdered by the Nazis. Only Mom and her 2 older sisters, Helen and Judy, miraculously survived after enduring over 4 months in Auschwitz-Birkenau. They were liberated by the Russians on May 8, 1945, from a forced labor factory in Freudenthal, Germany, one day after the Nazis surrendered and World War II had come to an end. My dad, Max Schindler, was born in 1929 in Cottbus, Germany, about 90 minutes south of Berlin. Dad, along with his 2 siblings and his parents, were deported by the Nazis to Poland in 1942. Over the course of the next 3 years, Dad was moved through 6 different forced labor and concentration camps before being liberated by the Americans at the Theresienstadt concentration camp on May 7, 1945. Only Dad and his older brother, Fred, survived. It's my dad is on the right, and Uncle Fred is on the left. In 1947, 2 years after liberation, Mom and Dad met at a youth hostel for Jewish World War II orphans in Bedford, England. This was one of many youth hostels that were opened in Great Britain right after the war ended. The hostels supported these traumatized youth with physical and mental rehabilitation, English lessons, and in the case of Mom and Dad, also a chance encounter of finding each other and falling madly in love. They were married in London in 1950, emigrated to Brooklyn, New York in 1951, and in 1956 finally settled right here in San Diego, where they raised 4 children, Roxanne, Ben, Steve, who's here, and yes, me. One day in 1973, my brother Steve came home from middle school and announced he was playing the role of Peter in the play The Diary of Anne Frank. He also told Mom that he happened to mention to his teacher that his mom had survived the Holocaust. When Steve's teacher asked Mom to tell the class about her experiences, Mom found the courage, and thus my parents' journey of telling their stories began. Mom and Dad devoted much of their lives to Holocaust education, remembrance, and the importance of resilience, of never giving up hope, and as Dad would so often say over the years, keep moving forward. Mom and Dad spoke far and wide about their experiences and were eager to educate anyone and everyone about the importance of never giving up hope, regardless of the circumstances. They worked closely with organizations including the 45 AIDS Society, based in London, and San Diego's own Butterfly Project, to teach students about the Holocaust from truly a firsthand perspective. They both participated in Holocaust survivor testimony projects, including with the USC Hashoah Foundation, which was created by Steven Spielberg as a result of his movie Schindler's List. In January 2015, my 2 brothers, Ben and Steve, my daughter Mariah, and I accompanied our parents as they mustered the courage and strength to attend the 70th anniversary of the liberation of Auschwitz in Poland. We had the privilege of meeting Steven Spielberg during an event held at our hotel in Krakow. He was honored at the main event at Auschwitz-Birkenau. I will never forget Mom hugging Mr. Spielberg and calling him her boyfriend. He was such a mensch. On that same journey, we also returned to my dad's hometown so he could relive his childhood experiences there. While we were there visiting, the mayor of Cottbus honored Dad by asking him to sign the Golden Book of Cottbus. This very special book is signed by visiting dignitaries. When visiting Dad's childhood home, we had the profound experience of viewing his family's Stolpersteins, which you heard about a few minutes ago. It is German for stumbling stones. 3 polished brass plaques, one each for Dad's sister, mother, and father, placed in the sidewalk right in front of my dad's family's apartment house, each one hand engraved with their name, birth date, and location of death, if known, a gravestone, if you will. These deeply personal plaques are sized perfectly to replace individual cobblestones and could be found in front of many of the last homes where Nazi victims lived before they were stolen away and ultimately perished in the Holocaust. The project began in 1992 by the German artist Gunter Demnig. It is now known as the world's largest decentralized Holocaust memorial. Over 100,000 Stolpersteins have now been placed across Europe and beyond, and Gunter's project is far from finished. Mom and Dad also received recognition for their advocacy and outreach work, including Mom being honored as a Girl Scouts Cool Woman. Mom was also honored as a San Diego Woman of Valor. Mom and Dad were honored with the Jewish Heritage Month Local Heroes Award. Mom was also honored on the California State Senate floor in Sacramento in 2018. Our family celebrated the U.S. Holocaust Museum's 20th anniversary together, and we had the honor of memorializing Mom and Dad's names in perpetuity, having them engraved in one of the museum's granite walls. In 2018, Mom earned an honorary high school diploma from La Jolla Country Day School. Since Mom was only in 3rd grade in 1944 when her formal education ended, as her family was deported to Auschwitz. Mom also earned an honorary degree from California International Business University in 2019. Mom served on the San Diego Community Yom HaShoah Committee for many years, assisting in creating this important and very emotional annual Holocaust Remembrance event, the one that was just held at the JCC on Sunday. Mom and Dad were very active members of the New Life Club. It was formed in 1953 as a group of local Holocaust survivors, since most survivors had no family left to speak of. This very special group became our extended family. We shared many meaningful and fun activities over the decades and still remain connected with many 2nd, 3rd, and yes, even 4th generation survivors. I fondly remember going to La Jolla Cove or La Jolla Shores on many Sundays, joining a large group of fellow New Life Club members and their families. I have such great memories of all the special times we spent with the New Life Club members and their families. Over the years, Mom proudly served as its president 3 times. While Mom was president of the New Life Club, she had the honor of speaking at the annual community Yom HaShoah events held at the JCC. In 2019, their memoir titled Two Who Survived was published, chronicling both of their experiences and the miracle of surviving the Nazi genocide of World War II. Today, there are nearly 50,000 copies of Two Who Survived in circulation. Mom and Dad spoke as often as they could to all that asked. They met with thousands of students, military personnel, and others during their speaking engagements, many lining up afterwards to meet them, hug them, thank them, and even to get their autographs, just like rock stars. They were also regulars on many of the local news channels. At home, Shabbat dinners were a ritual that was strongly adhered to at the Schindler household. I felt a special energy in the room watching Mom ushering in the light with her waving hands after lighting the Shabbat candles. Saturday nights for Mom and Dad were often bridge nights with their posse, filled with much laughter and usually bottles of Jim Beam. Mom played mahjong with the ladies like a competitive pro, usually coming home with a pocket full of quarters. Mom and Dad loved seeing and playing with their 9 grandchildren, one of who's right here, Joey, whenever and wherever possible. They were a true testament to survival and perseverance. Mom and Dad had been married for 66 years when Dad sadly passed away in January 2017 at the age of 87. Mom sadly passed away in February 2023 at the age of 93. Their lives are remembered not only as a story of survival, but as a powerful testimony about the dire consequences of unchecked hatred and indifference, and the critical importance of honoring human and civil rights. Looking back in the rearview mirror, I am so proud of the full life that Mom and Dad created for themselves and for us after literally rising from the ashes. Their ability to move beyond the trauma, and they endured and managed to raise a loving family, instilling joy, the importance of hard work, perseverance, resilience, tolerance, a deep love of Judaism, an attitude of never giving up hope and moving forward has shaped my life. I sincerely hope that it will inspire yours to speak out against anti-Semitism, hate of any kind, all forms of racism and xenophobia, and to never give up hope, to keep moving forward, and to joyfully live life loud and proud. Thank you.
At the rising of the sun and at its going down, at the blowing of the wind and in the chill of winter, at the opening of the buds and in the rebirth of spring, we hear them laugh, we hear them cry, we hear them sing. We remember them, we remember them. So as long as we live, they too shall live. For they are a part of us, and always be a part of us as we remember them. at the shining of the sun and in the warmth of summer, at the rustling of the leaves and in the beauty of the fall, at the start of the year, and again at its end. We think of family, think of our friends. We remember them, we remember them. For as long as we live, they too shall live. For they are a part of us, they'll always be a part of us as we remember them. When we are weary and in need of strength, when we are lost and sick at heart, when we have joy we crave to share, we remember how much they care. When we have decisions we have to make, they help us think of what's at stake. When we are seeking comfort and love, they still embrace us from above. For they are a part of us, will always be a part of us as we remember them, as we remember them, as we remember We invite you to please rise as we join in singing Hatikvah.
Before we conclude tonight, we have a few thank yous, many thank yous. We want to thank Lori Shear, John Lefter, Danny and Leo Siklik, Sonia Israel, Irene Jalowoski, Matt Valji, the entire Holocaust Education and Remembrance Task Force for all of their work in putting this evening together. We also want to thank the Zimriah Chorale, the members of our youth and teen choir, as well as our band, and of course, Jeff Schindler for his moving and beautiful story this evening. In a few moments, we will transition from the sanctuary to outside, and we ask that you grab a candle. Please get a candle for our candle lighting, and then we'll move to the Kriya Garden, where the Kriya statue is for our concluding prayers. We ask that you do move from here to outside as you grab your candle in silence.
Yeah. Yadadai, yadadai, yadadai. Yadadai, yadadai, yadadai. Yadadai, yadadai, yadadai. Yadadai. Yadadadai, 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 yadadadai. Yadadai, yadadai, yadadadai. Yadadai, yadadai, yadadai. Yadadai, yadadai, yadadai. Yadadai, yadadai, yadadai. Yadadadai, 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 yadadadai. Once your candle is lit, come join us closer to the Kriya sculpture. Yadadai, yadadai, yadadai. Yadadai, yadadai, yadadai. Yadadai, yadadai, yadadai. Yadadai, yadadai, yadadai. Yadadadai, 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 yadadadai. Yadadai, yadadai, yadadai. Yadadai, yadadai, yadadai. Yadadai, yadadai, yadadai. Yadadai, yadadai, yadadadai, 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 yadadadai.
The stone in front of the sculpture is inscribed Kriya, Holocaust Memorial, a gift of the Men's Club, Yom HaShoah, April 18th, 2004, on the 28th of Nisan, 5764. And underneath the ribbon, the sculpture itself, it says, Zachor, for hearts that are torn, we shall always remember.
For Yom HaShoah, there is a special El Male Rachamim, a prayer that asks for God's compassion on the souls of those who died. El Male Rachamim, Shochein Bamromim, Hametzei menucha nechona tachat kanfei Hashechina b'ma'alot kedoshim u'tehorim k'zor harakia masiri et nishmot 6,000,000 אחינו ואחיותינו, שנהרגו על קידוש השם. בעל הרחמים, יסתירם בסתר כנפיו לעולמים. ויצרור החיים את נשמתם. אדוני הוא נחלתם. וינוחו בשלום על משכבם. ונאמר Amen. Fully compassionate God on high, to our 6 million brothers and sisters murdered because they were Jews, grant clear and certain rest with you in the lofty heights of the sacred and pure, whose brightness shines like the very glow of heaven. Source of mercy, forever enfold them in the embrace of your wings. Secure their souls in eternity. Adonai, they are yours. They will rest in peace. Together we say, Amen.
And for those 6 million, we join together in Kaddish. Yitgadal v'yitgadash shmei Rabbah, v'alma divra chirutei v'yamlich malchutei, b'chayechon v'yomechon, uv'chaye dechol Beit Yisrael, b'gala uv'zman kariv v'imru. Amen. Yehi shmei Rabbah mevorach le'alam ulolmei almaya. Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh. V'yitadar v'yitaleh v'yitalal shmei dekudsha brichu. Le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata tushbechata v'nechemata. Da'amiran bi'alma v'imru. Amen. Yehi shlama rabba min shemaya v'chayim aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru. Amen. Oseh shalom b'imromav. Hu yaseh shalom aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru. Amen. Zichronam livracha. Their memories never forgotten.
As we conclude this evening, I'm mindful of all of our youth that are here. And I'm asking you to just give me a moment to really hear. Paying testimony and witness in this moment of life and in this moment of Jewish life is beyond critical. It's a mission that is important, that transcends your generation, and that will go beyond you to, God willing, your children and your children's children. By you being here tonight, you stand as testimony and witness to what the atrocities that have occurred, and you hold their memory in your hearts. And so even in your presence, even in your silence, even in your own thoughts that may be escaping you in this moment, there is wisdom, there is thoughtfulness, there is possibility that we never forget. We always remember. That's our call, that's our message, that's our responsibility. May this be God's blessing as we say, Amen. I thank again our Holocaust Education and Remembrance Task Force under Laura Shearer's leadership for enabling all of this to come to fruition this evening. I know that, again, we have our 7th to 12th graders who are here. You have your dinner inside at the social hall, and so as I invite you quietly, you can make your way there as you are able. Candles can be placed on this table with aluminum foil. In loving blessing, and those who are with us, we invite you to join in the courtyard. Thank you so much for joining us this evening. Mm.